Oh gosh.
Right.
All right, we'll jump to the regular meeting now.
Let's do that. I haven't the agenda. Am I first? Yes.
It's your meeting, André.
So it's the Andres show. Feel free to add some points there, please, so that it's not just me speaking. So yeah, I just wanted to bring up something here. It's not in our priorities, but it's something that came up. Stanislav brought this to my attention, and then I shared it with Donald, and it seems like the plan team is pretty much done with the issues list view refactor. They have a bunch of components and all that stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, code review, so the merge request list is the last place or one of the last to have the old filtered search UI. It hasn't been updated to the new one. Now, we can either just update the filtered search, or we can include that in the bigger effort of refactoring the whole page to view, which does come with its benefits of reusing other components and potentially even more like real time or more front end interaction or stuff like that. But just wanted to bring up to the team that they've gotten to a point that now it's starting to make sense to pick up for the merge request list as well. They were looking into picking up for the filtered search replacement, just that. But since we might want to work on a bigger scale, I thought to bring it up here, and we might want to touch base with the plan team on that. So thoughts, questions? Nope.
I know you and I, for like the purpose of this, I know you and I discussed this a little bit. It's sort of, I think, one of those things that's not entirely clear what the benefit is, and while there's a ton of stuff done, like how much effort we're looking at. And so I think if we could somehow, without like having to spend a milestone on a spike or something, like quantify the amount of work that we're talking about, like how many issues of a weight of what is this going to take? Like, are we talking about like 3 months of someone's time to sort of do this, and then at the end state, if we're not actually planning on building any features or doing anything there, like what did we get, or where are we at? I think that would help sort of understand what the ask is here.
That's fair. I can work on that. Try to come up with some estimations of the effort of that would take. Knowing that probably we need some updates on the back end. I'll have to check. So I'll look into that, and I'll come back with some forecast in the next couple of weeks for it. It's not an urgent thing, because it's not like we don't have the merge request list breaking or something like that. But so to Pedro's point, what are the pros and cons? I feel like not doing it would just keep that part of the code more stagnant, or not benefiting from improvements that are done on the issues list side. As we know, moving to Vue allows us to do clever things about how we load things, and make some performance optimizations there. And we can have more interactive things, like if we ever want to do like expandable merge request list items, like expand for a quick view, like that's much more easier to do in Vue than it was with Haml. That's some of it, but I think the driver here is code debt, because we're right now using a very old code base that is very hard to maintain for the filtered search every time we want to add tokens and stuff. So I feel like that's the biggest advantage. But I definitely want to look into the effort then to bring back an estimation. You're still writing, Pedro. You want to speak it up?
Yeah. I don't know if Kai has any more questions about the effort. Okay. Would it be not possible, but what would be the work or how feasible would it be if you wanted to apply a slightly different design to the list? Imagine we wanted to prioritize redesigning the MR dashboard lists, and we ended up with a slightly different design from the issues lists, for example, turning it into a table, or I don't know, rearranging some elements. What would be the impact of doing that? And would we have to also do the work for the issues, or,
That's a good question. I don't know. So the fact that we're working on them allow us to create new layouts for sure. Whether we would have to port them into issues, it's a matter of basically design, I would say, if it makes sense. So what you're talking about, is it an alternative way to render the list, or is it just that's the way we render merge requests? So that will be up for debate in terms of what the proposition is. So I think everything is up for being decided in that regard.
But it would make it easier. Like imagine that we, just changed some parts, knowing that the filter bar and the tabs would stay the same and other things, but just the list would be slightly different. That would already help because we're sharing those components, right? The ones that are not changed. Or in other words, putting everything into view is already helpful, even if we want to make changes in the midterm.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I would have to dive into the code to see exactly if they already have reusable components for those issues list items, which then would be using for merge request list items, which then would have a shared code base to improve upon. I think all of that is part of the discussion that we can have for that. But remember, there's two chunks here. One is the filtered search, the other is the merge request list. Like you said, I'll scope out the two efforts so that we can have an idea about how would it cost to just replace the filtered search. And the plan, we're kind of willing to do that themselves. But there's a couple of filters that are merge request specific, so we might want to be involved anyway. And then there's the merge request list. So I'll focus on those two things. And then regarding of how we want to design them, we can have that cross sharing or not. It's up to us basically.
Cool. Yeah, I think it would be good if we moved over to Vue, but I understand Kai's concern about the effort and if it's worth doing now or later.
Sure. Thomas, you want to, I know that Stanislav has a point below, but this is contextualized. So Thomas, you want to bring up yours?
Yeah. Sorry, my computer basically crashes when I'm running Zoom, so I can't see much. There is an issue that I've heard about where the goal, and this is for, I think, for plan issue board type stuff, but it's sort of, I think it sounds similar, where the idea is to basically take what we would currently show as a list and view it as a spreadsheet that you can edit, or view it as view it as all these different types of ways. Basically, I don't know if you've ever used Notion, but kind of like restructuring a little database in different types of views. Is this kind of what you're talking about, where we can just sort of click a button and view a list as a different format?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I know that we have like an epic to look into the merge request list and make it more powerful but also simpler at the same time, because we have so much information in there. We haven't prioritized that yet, but that could be one of the solutions, to have, basically a view toggle where you can switch between lists, cards, board, timeline, table, whatever it is. Might be.
Did I hear merge request boards?
I don't know, maybe.
It's been a wish list. It's been on my wish list for a while. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Pedro. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Stanislav, do you want to bring up your point?
Yeah, I would suggest that we wait for title search for issues to be merged before actually rewriting any of the MR list to Vue, because it turns out that issues already have such a functionality to search for titles only, and it has to be a drop-down where you select in which part of the issue you want to search. You can search everywhere. You can search in title. You can search in description, and there has to be a drop down in the filtered search. So my guess is that the component itself has to be updated first. So then we can apply the same logic in the MR list, because MR list, I think, also should have this functionality.
Yeah, would make sense.
And also, the filter search itself is okay to work with, but the current approach in the issues list, how they deal with searching, is far from perfect from my point of view, and that is the most complex part of the issues list. So I suppose we'll have to deal with exactly the same problems in the MR list. So to me, it seems that we should first rewrite or refactor some of the issues that we have in the issues list, find a better approach, and then apply this approach to MR list.
Have you talked to the plan team about this, Stanislav, like the problems you found? Anyone?
I plan to add like a drop down for the title and description first, then create an issue for refactoring.
Okay, I can help bridge that because it definitely makes sense. But this is also, we're not going to start this in the next milestone. It's like much more ahead, so we have time to do that thing. Definitely makes sense to make that better before we pick it up. Okay, thank you so much for the thoughts. I'll keep this topic coming back. Next, I saw this merge request that Eduardo had merged for metrics, and I wanted to have a brief discussion. How do you all think that we could have avoided this? I saw, Kai, from what I understood, this kind of like pollutes the data a little bit. The one you open the revert about Jupyter notebooks, that's the context. And I was wondering, how could we have avoided it? Should we start asking for a product manager to review the MR, get an approval? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I was curious too, like how it got merged. I'm also like sitting here fixing a broken pipeline on it. And I was looking, and you said that, and I was like, how could it have been prevented? And I was like, oh, I should go add a note to like the top of the aggregated metrics file that says like, this is for user counts only. And then I looked, and there is a note in there that says it's for user counts only. So like, it just wasn't, I don't know. I don't have any good answers for you on like a better way to review that. I'm not sure if outside of like myself and probably Mark, who are the people who have like only worked in this aggregated file, like I'm not sure anyone would have caught that like immediately or known necessarily. And so it could just be like a knowledge thing. There might be something we could do with a spec, which is well beyond my skills to like metrics are defined, and I think they say if they are a count or like a user metric. I think we have a way to distinguish between counted metrics and like user-based metrics in the YAML file. So maybe we just like write a spec, maybe we update the spec for the aggregates to like it currently has like a manual exceptions list, so maybe that exceptions list needs to be based on things that are labeled counts, and then it would automate that, and so it would like know that like they need to be there. I don't know. I think there's maybe ways, but like it's going to take an engineer to look at it, I think. Okay, maybe if you want to create an issue or something that we can then pick up later once we have this solved. Okay, that's just wanted to bring it up. Thank you so much. And yeah, then I have a read only. Just go and watch, listen. You can't watch an audio podcast, dummy. Yeah, just go listen to Thomas making us all proud. So that's it. Any last minute points from anyone? 15-1 has started. Have fun, everyone. Assignments are out. Oh, good. Look at Amy's face. Yeah.
Talk, Amy. What? How can we help you?
I'm the lead for 15-0. There is no saving me between now and Sunday. Kai and I are just going to have to spend part of our weekend together.
Hang in there.
It'll be fine. It's just a release.
Nobody
cares about those, right?
Oh, we do.
It'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much then. Great to see everyone.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.